All hail the New York Giants!
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome to episode 515 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the New York Giants. So let's get ready to take a big bite out of the Big Apple. Let's meet the posse for this week's episode. First, the yin to my yang. He is the posse member who never sleeps, just like New York City. That's Matt from Married Old England. I'm Matt.
Hello, Moses. You don't know how true that line is, actually. I feel like I never sleep.
You never sleep.
Yes. I'm having a great week, actually. I'm having a very Laverne and Shirley week.
Oh, really? What's that mean?
Because I'm getting a lot of chances and I'm taking it. People are reading me rules and I'm breaking it. And I'm doing everything I can to make my dreams come true because I'm doing it my way, I tell you.
For me and you. Okay.
Wow.
Laverne and Shirley. There's a blast in the past. All right. Also, of course, the man who can make you an offer that you cannot refuse.
Unless you're a woman.
That is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, what's going on? I also
How are
am
you?
somebody who is not doing a lot of sleep. We're putting in a whole new system at work, medical records wise and everything. I gotta be to work tomorrow at 6 a.m. on Saturday. Yeah,
Man.
boo.
And
Yeah.
I'll be grumpy tomorrow.
give that
Someone
job
who-
up.
And someone who's never grumpy, please welcome back, of course, live from behind enemy lines just down the street from 49er headquarters. His little town blues are melting away. Statsman Mark! Hi, Mark!
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Wonderful. How are you, sir?
I am just trying to figure out how to actually win money at gambling on the NFL instead
Gambling
of
on the NFL, something we never do here,
it's
Never.
just.
but
What?
Mark's just looking at it.
I
When he's
tell
not
you.
putting tokens into a certain...
Plot.
Oh yeah.
hobby.
Well, the webcam model budget suffers when the gambling goes south,
Oh!
and boy, you know.
We should set up a GoFundMe for you and your webcam. Maybe we'll do that later.
Well, I know what people would think about that, and it wouldn't be GoFundMe. So
Oh,
Wow.
anyway.
Speaking of that, no. We want to remind you, of course, our regular Will, Newshound Will, he cannot be with us this week, but we sincerely hope that he is not sleeping with the fishes. So we hope he's doing well. We know he is. He's doing well. He'll be back. But anyway, it's time to start episode 515. Michael Bolton.
Boys, let's get to it.
Yes, let's get to this. The show's broken into 4 quarters and halftime. Quarter 1 will still be news. I will present some news stories for us from the NFL world. Quarter 2 will be the rest of the season for the Seahawks. That's when we usually talk about the game last week. There was no game last week, so we're going to look at the last 11 games of the Seahawks and kind of talk about those games and see which ones we think are maybe a surprise in a good way and a surprise in a bad way, depending on how those teams have played. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet. 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world.
of the world. Our 2-time in a row winner goes for a threepeat tonight, and that's Dustin. Dustin, you ready?
Yeah, we're starting now.
No, we'll do it later.
Okay, I'll be ready later.
We'll
Then.
wake you up later. Quarter 3, we have our weather, injuries, and, of course, numbers for that game between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants, and also, of course, another wonderful travel guide. Hold your applause. Quarter 4, we'll put all that stuff together and some other stuff that's actually useful and have predictions, game balls, and prognostications. But before we start, we'd like to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We also have a great game day thread going on in that Facebook page during the games. We're also on Twitter, and our email is 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. All right, let's get to the first quarter of news. Yes, it's the 12-Man Fan Jam Show news report with news of the NFL worth mentioning, brought to you this week by our sponsor, the New York City Gloves. Middle finger not covered. All right. Just a couple of quick stories here from the news. You got a pair of those gloves, do you?
no, my middle fingers are never cut out.
Okay. Here's some quick. I thought we'd do a quick rundown of stories since Will's not here to give us our in detail news. There's just some things that happened over the past week or so, like Oakland's punter Marquise King. Not Thursday night as they defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in an amazing game, but Sunday the Raiders were in L.A. playing the Chargers. And after a 59-yard punt early in the second quarter against the Chargers that pinned them inside the 10, King broke out former Charger Sean Merriman's lights out dance. Of course, nobody in the stadium that were Chargers fans even had any idea who that was, but there it was. Because they don't know who Merriman is. He's only been in the league like the last 5 years. But anyway.
That was a crazy game on Thursday, though. Did you see it?
Oh my God, yes.
That was
I'm so glad I was not a fan of either team.
I have to say, the only thing I was hoping for was when Marshawn Lynch got involved in that fight and he grabbed that ref. All I was hoping for, he was saying, "Thanks, referee. Have a happy birthday" or something. Give me a little hug. That's what I thought he was doing.
Hey man, I love your work.
Love your work, man. Love you, man. That was a crazy game, though.
That was a crazy game. That game never ended. I sitting there going, I'm so glad I am not a fan of either of these teams because that would just be awful.
Yeah.
Either way. Also, Sunday, the Texans rookie Deshaun Watson, you've heard of him. He's a pretty good quarterback. He paid homage to the great Warren Moon Sunday. That's right, Warren Moon. Of course, he wore a Oiler jersey, but, they're in Houston, so I understand. He wore an Oiler #1 jersey. So, of course, on the back it said, Moon 1. Gold chain and old school Air Jordans after the game. Of course, when asked about the jersey, Deshaun Watson said, "Oh, Moon's a player? I was just a big fan of planets."
Not even a planet.
I know, that's the joke!
God.
All right. Yeah, and somewhere Warren Moon said, when asked, who? No, he didn't say it. Warren Moon actually was very flattered, I think. He was very flattered for what I heard. So, Warren Moon, great guy. For last Sunday, Pittsburgh Steeler Martavius Bryant had custom cleats made. And here's a picture of him. They had a message on them. It pretty much says, open 24 hours. If you've never seen these cleats, they're like nothing but open 24 hours, always open, never close. Just the idea that he would put these on to kind of tell his quarterback he's always open, right?
Often suspended. Yeah.
He had 2 catches.
I thought he was describing Kim Kardashian.
Well, now rumor is he sold those shoes to Paris Hilton so she could change them into a nice skirt. So, with the skirt with always open 24 hours, yeah. But, Kardashian's good too. I like that. That was pretty good.
Insert money here.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Great
You there?
segue.
Hey, Mark, if you had shoes and you wore them in the NFL, what would they say?
Straight up now, shoot me. No, actually, you probably would with all the politicking going on.
Oh! All right. Meanwhile, when Jameis Winston left the Buccaneers game against Arizona with a shoulder injury, backup Ryan Fitzpatrick took over, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Ryan Fitzpatrick played college ball where? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Harvard, which is unusual for a Harvard player to actually be a quarterback in the NFL. But what's even weirder is there's another Harvard player on the Buccaneers roster, and that's 4th-year tight end Cameron Brate. So guess what? During the game, yes, you guessed it, Fitzpatrick hit Brake for a 10-yard touchdown, and it was the first Harvard-to-Harvard hookup in NFL history. It was also the first time in history 2 Harvard grads hooked up for a score without having to pay boatloads of money to a hooker for it. So, I kid Harvard because I'm from Yale. But, who else was from Harvard? Isaiah Kaczynski, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody cares.
No, we don't. After Sunday night's win against the Broncos, Jason Pierre-Paul, this is a worm story, was doing a post-game interview with NBC when he started talking about playing for a young boy named Hayden. When he was done, it looked like he had tears in his eyes. As it turned out, his sack dance Sunday night was taught to him by Hayden, a 7-year-old boy battling cancer who visited the Giants last week and obviously made an impact on Jason Pierre-Paul. It's very nice. I'm sure when Jason met him, he gave him a nice high 3.
Oh. Wow.
Ouch.
Well,
Getting dark again, folks. It's getting dark in here.
it's getting dark. It's getting dark.
he could go as a Ninja Turtle for Halloween.
Oh no!
Oh,
You did
He's
not.
just being
just say
shellfish
that.
now.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. The guy's making millions more than I am.
You know, you'd never feel bad, Moses.
No. But it was not. It was a nice story that he did that dance because of the young boy. I mean, that is. Let's back up a little bit. I have my joke, but now let's be serious. That was a sweet little story that he did a little dance for the boy. That was nice. So I'm sure Jason Pierre-Paul's a great guy. So actually, from what I read, you know, they bonded because of that, because the boy had lost a toe because of cancer, and so he said, "Well, yeah, I've lost something like you have," and they went back and forth. So anyway, okay,
Yeah, not
enough
to
of
be
that.
cancer, but
I had
through
more
complete
fun when I did it.
stupidity.
Yeah, basically, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, we've got loads in common. I'm a millionaire and I'm stupid. I mean, that's nothing in common at all with this child. Goodness me. I don't like him now.
Well, fine. In that case, let's go ahead and end the first quarter, please.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, lots of show left, sites to visit in beautiful, sunny New York City, halftime trivia. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the rest of the Seahawks season. You are listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
This is Dustin. Thanks for listening.
Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of episode 515 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Okay, gentlemen, this is when we usually talk about the game from the week before, but there was no game last week, so we're going to look at the rest of the Seahawks season. There are your last 11 games between now and the end of the season, all the way to December 31st. 11 games left, so there are some games there, I think, that after the first 5 or 6 weeks of the year, they kind of change. Some of them that we thought would be challenges maybe won't be, and some that we thought wouldn't be big challenges now present kind of a big issue. So we'll start with Dustin. Dustin, what game do you see on this schedule that is kind of surprising one way or another once the season started?
Well, I'd have to say that the big surprise for me with our schedule is that Aaron Rodgers got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Because after we lost to the Packers early in the year, I kept telling my buddies, like, you know, that we lost that game. If we have a better record than them at the end of the year, it doesn't matter. Now they're probably out of contention, probably not going to make the playoffs, which leads the Seahawks, makes them have their own destiny here. Because if you look at it, they're playing the other either division leaders or teams that are close to leading their division at home. They've got the Cards at home, Redskins, the Falcons are playing in Seattle, the Eagles are playing in Seattle, and the Rams come back. So if the Seahawks hold serve at home and they're able to play well on the road, they could have the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. So it's all in their hands. It's lining up really nicely for them if they take care of business.
Yeah, and I was looking at the schedule. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the next 11 are home. So we have more home than road games the rest of the way, which is always nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a lot too. Matt, what are your thoughts? Is there a game or games that you see on there that...
Not that worry me so much, but one that I'm interested in seeing is the Jacksonville game, weirdly enough. Because it's
Is it in London?
No, it's Everbank. Because if it was London, I'd be there.
That's right.
But it's just that they're 3-3. You know, when you think of Jacksonville Jaguars, you don't think of a 3-3 team normally. Their offensive line looks pretty wicked. I mean, they took the Titans apart. They took was it not the Titans? Sorry, it was the Texans. And was it the Ravens they played and just like completely destroyed them?
I think so. And that's what's so weird about this Jacksonville team, because they seem to be so erratic. They'll win by 30 one week and then they'll lose by 30 the next week. You're like, who are they?
Was it the Steelers they had 5 interceptions against?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was. So to me, it's not that I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the game, but I just think that it's that all of a sudden they're a team that I wouldn't normally have put in that box of they could actually win this if they have one of their weird fluky 446-0 games.
And it is that dreaded 1:00 Eastern time game.
Yeah, it is Everbank
after a Sunday night game at home. So you don't like to play that game. I hate that whole Eastern Western thing with the time.
But at least it's an AFC opponent though, so
Right.
that's a good thing.
It's also really good news because if Jacksonville pick their socks up and start becoming a really credible team, then hopefully more of their fans will turn out in Jacksonville, which will make any chance of them moving to London a lot less likely.
Matt lives in hope.
I live in hope.
Mark,
I'm
what
going to
about you?
I'm going to get a travel ban put in and stop anyone from Jacksonville coming across. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
Does that
Anybody
work?
wearing that shade of blue, that teal, or whatever that is. Anybody has a helmet that's not all one color. Can we just say that?
Well, anyone that pronounces it Jaguar, they can't come in.
Jaguar.
They're fancy though.
That's fancy.
Well, the London Jaguars does have a ring to it.
It does. London Jaguars.
But we wouldn't say it like that. It would be London Jaguars.
Jaguars. The London Jaguars.
That's how it's pronounced properly.
Or
Or we'd probably just say the London Shitfest, which is probably what it's going to be.
A little bit more accurate.
Well, they call it the Union Jags. You say Union Jack.
Oh, do they really?
Nice.
Yeah, Union Jacksonville, the Union Jags.
Nice.
La la la. They got branding, they got t-shirts. Next thing you know, apparently all we need now is Epoxy University to actually do any form of college football, and we might be there, but it's not going to happen. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about this whole NFL coming to London thing. I'm not bitter about it at all.
No. Oh, I hope it doesn't happen.
Just bitter about all the shit players they keep bringing over. Sorry?
Would they be happy if we just gave them the Super Bowl? Because let's be honest, none of us can ever go to the Super Bowl anyway. So I mean, can we just give you the Super Bowl and call it even?
Give us the Pro Bowl.
I've actually been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you were cleaning stands and toilets. You weren't watching.
Yeah.
I was Katy Perry's wardrobe person. That's what I was doing.
That's it. The only reason he got in is because he knocked housekeeping.
You know what? No, Dustin was left shark. That's what Dustin was.
Whatever, it worked.
Hey, Mark, you still there?
I am. I was just going to tell Matt that if the Super Bowl were in London, somebody could buy the Oliver Reed Super Bowl package, belligerent drinking, a dozen hookers, and that would be an Oliver Reed Super Bowl.
That would be the Mark package. That would be.
Yeah.
That would be your own special package, Mark. That's what you've just sold.
I can't be alone here. Can I?
You'd never get in.
Now with 12 hookers, you wouldn't be.
Yeah. Because you've got to be careful, because if you say that in Britain, you probably won't end up with prostitutes, you'll end up with rugby players, because we have a rugby position called a hooker.
Yikes.
Which would be really unfortunate for you, Mark.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Well, Mark, what about the schedule here? You see a game that is exciting?
Well, the thing, what surprised me in this year to be somewhat consistent, is a hard thing to do, although they just dropped the game to Miami. But Atlanta has done better than I thought they would after that torture.
I agree.
Torturous way to lose the Super Bowl. Oh, my God. And we're Seahawk fans, and we can legitimately say that, which is
we can.
quite something.
Still hurts.
But they're hanging in there. I don't know how they lost to Miami in Atlanta after leading 17-0. Anyway, but they're still a decent team. It's a Monday night game, November 20th, Monday night in Seattle.
Yeah.
And the hunch. I mean, this is 4 games or so from now. So the hunch is both of us are going to be very much in contention for playoff seeding, maybe home field. And Atlanta has, overall answered the bell. So that's a huge game. Monday night in Seattle. I mean, that's going to be rocking.
That is a huge game, that Atlanta game.
It'll be fun.
Yes. Yes, it is. Mine is also a home game. And I want to say I suckered you all into looking at the schedule when I'm just going to talk about next week's game. But Houston is red hot right now. And Deshaun Watson is red hot. What will he do in front of the 12s in CenturyLink? That's going to be fascinating because he's used to playing in big crowds, but I'm not sure he's used to playing in front of that many people screaming against him. But it's going to be interesting to see what that's going to be a real litmus test on this kid. and I think he's a great quarterback, and I was really happy when the Texans got him because I thought, wow, that's all they really needed was him. Now, I didn't think he was going to do what he's done, but I thought he was eventually going to be a pretty good quarterback in this league. He's gotten off to an absolute scorching start, and if they play again, well, this week, or if they're on a bye, I don't even know. Then, yeah, next week he'll be in front of the 12s in Seattle, and that will be a fun game to watch because that kid is, like it was mentioned earlier, he's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, too, because Watt's not playing and Merciless isn't playing.
Yeah, well, you're right.
And I think Cushing might be back for that game, though. His suspension might be up, right?
I think maybe.
Yeah.
But, you look at the schedule the last 3 weeks, L.A. at home, at Dallas and Arizona at home. It seems like every year we get to the end of the schedule, and if things fall right between now and then, a lot can happen. Those 3 games, again, could put us in the driver's seat where we seem to say every year we're in control of our own destiny. Those last 3 weeks, that may happen again with LA and Seattle battling for first place, probably the week 15, we would think. We'll see. I know the Rams are known to fall, but I don't think this team's going to fall. And so that game in week 15 is going to be interesting. And then you go to Dallas, which by then, I don't know if this whole Ezekiel Elliott thing is going to get straightened out or not or whatever.
Oh, my God.
But still, a big game. And then Arizona, I hate to say it, Adrian Peterson ran for 1 million yards last week, so you can't deny that. So
And
it's
that's a
going to
lot
be
of yards.
interesting in the schedule.
A lot of yards.
That's a lot of yards.
He's still tied. He's still running, even now.
I wish I would have had him on my fantasy team.
Well, we all do. But you know what?
The
It
thing
doesn't
is-
matter.
But
Go
Dennis,
ahead.
just a question. Am I the only person who thinks that Whitney Merciless, right, his real name should have been Ming?
Ming the Merciless.
Should it not have been, if you were his parents, would you not have done that? I'd have done that. I'd
Maybe he
have
has
done
a
that
brother
straight
named
away.
Ming. You don't know.
But they called him Whitney. And he plays in Houston. Do you know what I mean?
And he plays for
Uh-uh.
Houston. Oh, you're
You know what I
killing
mean?
me.
It's just too much.
Oh,
I mean, he's never allowed in the bath on his own at shower time. Do you know what I mean?
And you
It's
know
life.
what? Whitney Merciless will always love you. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
He will.
God. Oh, no.
He's every
But-
woman you ever need. Right.
God.
And he needs a bodyguard. Oh, this is too much.
The jokes are
Stop it.
merciless.
Too much.
All right.
Oh, God. Does it not send anyone else into a panic attack when you hear that song, the theme to The Bodyguard? Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah, absolutely.
Not when Dolly Parton
I hate
sings
for
it.
someone to find that and play it for you, but
Oh, God.
that would just send Mark off the rails.
Off the rails.
Um,
Yeah.
but it,
He'll black
But-
out again. He won't come back
yeah,
until like
before we do
2018.
that, let's go ahead and go to our 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
Yes, 2-minute warning. This is usually where we talk about our predictions and scores and game balls and prognostications from the week before. Again, we do not have that. So we decided a 2-minute warning this week. We'll go ahead and do our Caption That Picture. All right, Caption That Picture. This is a really weird one. It's a picture of a couple. A couple of Seahawks. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing whatever.
They're like the actors left over from a Russell Wilson commercial or something.
They
Not even-
are.
Not
They
even real
are.
players. Okay.
Let's see. Who wants to start? Let's go.
Okay.
with oh, thanks. Matt?
Okay, just
Caption
in
That
case you
Picture.
couldn't think of any of our names, I don't know whether you're having some sort of senior moment.
I was.
Let's go with Joan. Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, go ahead, Matt.
So this is what I think they're saying. So, do you think that practicing the running man as a group celebration at MetLife is too soon? You know, with Odell Beckham Jr. breaking his ankle and all.
Oh,
Kids like it.
yeah.
Kids like it. I'll give you a rim shot, too.
Thanks.
All right.
I love it when you give me a rim shot.
Oh, jeez.
You know how he
Mark,
likes it.
Caption
You know how he
That
likes them.
Picture.
Are you talking to me now? Is that what's going on?
Are you talking
Mark,
to me?
Mark, stop using the webcam. Caption that picture.
Caption that picture. Caption, hey, y'all. I wish our offensive line was this synchronized.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, a thinker.
You thought that out.
I
Thinker,
thought that was
buddy.
a pretty good one. I don't know.
That was good. That's good.
Because clearly they're not offensive linemen.
Right.
Clearly they're not because they're in sync. Is that what you mean?
I think
That-
they were They're background actors for Russell Wilson's whatever that ad is. What's the latest ad of him running around? Anyway.
There's so many I've lost track.
It's
Dustin,
an empire.
Caption That Picture.
There you go.
Oh, man, I was going to actually use that one.
Ah, well done, Dustin.
But
I love
you know
I
what?
love what you steal from Dennis.
But that's all right, because I've got another one. And Will has one, too. Will sent us one. So mine now will be this. I was going to do the throw thing, but that's all right. I love it. Mine is step, kick, step, step, lunge, and turn, and kick, and step, and 2, and 3, and gas hands. And then finally from Will.
If I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Everybody!
I'm kicking.
Da, 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 da.
Nah.
Can't see me, but I'm kicking.
All right. Frankie, take it home.
That was a
All right.
classic song.
Yeah, and a perfect ending to the second quarter.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
All right. Coming up, so much more show. Can the Seahawks take another bite out of the Big Apple? Will the Giants pull off a giant upset? Will someone hail me a cab? All these answers and more just around the corner. But first, another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia coming up next!
Hi, I'm Rosette, and you're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world.
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves. Matt, Mark, Dustin, and here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right, gentlemen, you know the rules. No Googling, no wagering, no phone a friend. Each of you get a question each round, 2 rounds, and then our final question. All right. Since Dustin is our returning champion again, Dustin, 1, 2, or 3?
3.
All right. Mark, 1 or 2?
We'll go 1.
I'll have a 2 then.
All right, Matt. Your questions can be New York, New Jersey, the Giants. It could be anything.
Okay.
So, suck it, Dustin. Now, here we go.
Ooh.
All right, Mark. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yours is actually kind of football related.
Kind of football related.
Kind of football related.
Well, MetLife is kind of a new stadium. It's not real new, but Mark, who did the Giants host in the first NFL regular season game in MetLife Stadium's history? Did they host the Panthers, the Bears, or the Cowboys? Dan!
Oh,
Panthers, Bears, or Cowboys? Who did Giants host in the first NFL regular season game at MetLife Stadium?
You know what? I'm going to say Cowboys for the sake of moving the show along. And also, it's a division game, so why not christen it with that? Okay, so Cowboys.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cowboys. Little Mo said Panthers. Mosette said Bears. You said Cowboys. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was the Panthers. Don't ask me why.
I would have won with Cowboys too.
Yeah, I would have too. All right. That brings us to Matt. Matt.
Hello. Oh God, he's already laughing, which means this is about something really obscure. Go on then.
Well,
Yeah.
It's about John Bon Jovi, who's from
Who?
New Jersey. John Bon
Who?
Jovi.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the name of the first band John Bon Jovi ever played with? Was it called the Lost Boys, Rays, or the Wild Ones? Lost Boys, Rays, or the Wild Ones? First band ever.
Shit.
John Bon Jovi, I think, was
sorry.
13 when he played with this band. The Lost Boys, Rays, or the Wild Ones?
Matt's living on a prayer with this
Oh my
one.
goodness gracious, and I should know this, and I'm going to get a lot of stick.
Dance!
I want to say the Lost Boys, but do you know what? No. Now, there's a very clear way of sorting this out. I'm going to ask the kids.
Yes, kids.
Yeah, because they won't have a clue, which will then give me more time to
Little Mo
think.
They believe in you, kids.
Good strategy.
Little Mo said the Lost Boys. Mosette said the Wild Ones. No one said Rays.
Oh, mate of all mates. I'll go with the Lost Boys.
Oh, he's still going to go Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Bye.
I think
by
he
the
just
movie.
wanted to go to Lost Boys no matter what. Am I right?
I thought that was the first one that popped into my head. I should know this. I'm going to get a lot of stick with this. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, balls.
It's Rays.
Rays.
R-A-Z.
Ah!
Rays.
Oh,
Put the Z in there because it makes it look cool when you're
don't
13.
get me angry.
Hell yeah.
Dustin, you actually have a football question.
Okay, cool.
The last time the Seahawks lost to the Giants on the road, I think it was 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Who
Okay.
had the only sack for the Seahawks in that game? Was it Patrick
Grant
Kearney?
Wistrom. I don't know.
Patrick Kearney, Julian Peterson, or Daryl Tapp?
I'll
There's
go
some
Kearney.
names for you.
I'll go Kearney.
He'll go Kearney.
Pretty.
Mosette went Kearney. Little Mo went Tapp. Nobody said Peterson, one of my favorite trades
So
of all time.
it's
When we
probably
got
Peterson then. Is
favorite
what
free
you're
agents,
saying.
I should say, of all time. Oh, wait. Nope. Judges, you need to change your answer. It's
You
Kearney.
need to change your finger, is what it's.
Sorry, the judges have been fired.
Wow.
Patrick Kearney had the only sack, which means that Dustin continues just to be red hot here. 4, 5, or 6, Dustin.
6.
Mark, 4, 5,
Yo, 5.
5.
4.
Yeah. All right, Matt,
Not
your question is this.
laughing, so it's a football question. This is good.
This is a football question. You know the Jets and the Giants play in the same place, right?
Nuh-uh.
So, in what year did the Jets move in with the Giants? Is it 1982, 1984, or 1986? First year the Jets moved in to share stadium with the Giants. 82, 84, or 86?
That's a really good question because I haven't got a bloody clue.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
All right. So I'm going to just have to pick any number then. So give me those numbers again.
1982, 1984, 1986.
I'll go with 84.
He'll go, just a shot in the dark.
Just a shot in the
Little Ozzy.
dark.
Little Aussie for you there. Okay, 1984, you said Mosette said 84.
Making me
Mo said
paranoid
86.
now.
You said 84. Yes! Matt's on the board. Woohoo! All right, Mark. Yours is about Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen was actually kept from entering the draft for the Vietnam War because of a physical condition. What physical condition kept Bruce Springsteen from entering the Vietnam War? Was it a concussion, a crooked spine, or a heart palpitation? What kept Bruce Springsteen from entering the draft for the Vietnam War? A concussion, a crooked spine, or a heart palpitation?
Oh, boy. Wow. You could have asked me which back pocket he carries a handkerchief.
That
Oddly
would be
enough.
right, I believe. Or who he danced with. And, do you know who he danced with in Dancing in the Dark, right?
Yeah, that one.
Courtney
I've heard,
Cox.
yeah.
Courtney Cox, yeah.
Let's see. So
I love French trivia.
Yeah.
Concussion. Excuse me. Concussion, heart or spine?
Yes.
Well, I'll go spine.
I'll go spine.
Spinal tap.
Hello, Cleveland. Little Mo went with the spine. You went with the spine. Mosette went with the heart palpitation. I'm sorry, it was a concussion.
That was even worse. They not only did you get a buzz, you got an R as well.
Yeah. It was a concussion. He got a concussion right before he was admitted to the draft, and he was a 4F because he rode his motorcycle, got in an accident, and had a concussion. And they're like, nope. Yeah, I know. Dustin's like, what? They just will come back later, but no.
But he got his draft
It was good
papers,
enough.
got on a motorcycle without a helmet, and nobody suspected that he was trying to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say he shot himself in the foot, but that would have been...
I would have never thought they would. That sounds like an excuse for letting you out today. That doesn't sound like something like
nice.
Sergeant Hartman from Full Metal would like accept. It's
Yeah.
You know. Anyway.
All right, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yours is a football question.
Okay.
The last time the Seahawks played on the road against the Giants, how many interceptions did Eli Manning throw? 3, 4, or 5? Eli Manning threw a lot of interceptions that game. I think that was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure on that. I could be wrong.
No. Something like that. It was like 13 or 14. I don't
13 or
remember
14.
Exactly. Yeah.
How many interceptions did Eli Manning throw? 3, 4, or 5?
I'll say 3. I don't know.
I'll say 3. I don't know.
I hope it was 5.
Mosette
That would
said
be good.
Mosette said 3. Little Mo said 4. You said 3. No, it was 5. It was 5.
Lame.
So here we go. Dustin
Simply
has
wasn't
a point.
trying hard enough.
Pat has a point, and Mark has a point. As we enter the ever popular final question. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Number obviously high low. Close without going over.
Oh, here we
gets
go.
2
What's
points.
the population of New York? Get ready for it. Something stupid.
How many miles is it? No. The order we'll go is Mark, Matt, and Dustin. And gentlemen, here's your question. And it is about a wonderful memory. It's about Super Bowl 48. I shouldn't tell you that because someone will go Google it right now. But don't Google it. The question is,
yeah,
Mark,
Jose.
how many total yards did the Seahawks and Broncos combine for in Super Bowl 48? Total yardage for both teams in Super Bowl 48. Mark?
Oh,
Does that
wow.
count punt returns? Or kick returns, I mean?
Dude, it was total offensive yards.
Offense. Okay. Oh boy, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna say because Denver did so poorly that game. I'm going to say 680.
You said 680?
680.
680.
How
Matt.
much? Oh,
Whoa,
that sounds high to
680.
me. That's a high number, Mark. I'm gonna go lower than that. I'm gonna have to go. I'll go 300.
300.
Yep.
Dustin,
halve it.
680,
I think there's a big
300.
gap in the middle now for Dustin to play around, and he can get this wrong.
I was thinking it was in the 400s, so I'll stick with like 415 and a half.
I love him.
Did you just say 415 and a half?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. That's what I thought you said. 415 and a half, 300 and 680.
My guess really is like what's his name from Anchorman.
Brick.
Ron Burgundy.
Brick.
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 That's such a
Brick.
freak. I'm like 400 above everybody.
It's 3, 4, and 2012. All right.
It's just like I love Lamp and 680. Okay.
We'll start loving that lamp because the answer on how many total offensive yards the Seahawks and Broncos combined for in Super Bowl 48 is 647.
Woo!
Prime time is a charm for Dustin. Congratulations, Dustin.
Oh, I went over.
Thank you,
3
thank
in a
you.
row.
Oh,
I
that
thought
was
he went
awesome.
over by a lot. I thought he
My
was
heart-
way over. That's.
My heart
I
goes
feel like
to
Mark deserves
right
that But
Man,
That was a heartfelt brick on guess that almost hit Pater.
no, I kind of feel like Mark should get that, but that was awesome.
But he's not going to. So
he's not going
he
to.
won't.
No. You're 415.5 won this time.
Mate.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. 3-0. Somebody break up Dustin in trivia. He's on a roll.
He's doing it. He's doing the thing.
Doing
This
it big
is-
time.
Boy, wow.
3 in a
That's-
row.
He's become the Patriots of the
Unbelievable.
trivia show.
Start now. Who's
And-
going to be polishing his trophies this season? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'm married, so.
Well, on that note,
You know who does the
time to
cleaning
say-
in that house? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I'm just shit out of tokens on that one. Alright.
Well, we're going to let Mark get more tokens.
Sadly,
This
so
has
is
been
Dustin.
another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world. Of the
We'll
world.
be back with the second half of this show after another reading by Reverend Moses. Skilo, take us out.
I wish I had a brand new car. So far, I got this hatchback, and everywhere I go, yo, I get laughed at.
When I'm in my car, I'm laid back. I got an 8-track and a spare tire in the back seat, but that's flat.
And now it's time for a reading of Seahawk Positivity with the Reverend Moses.
Yes! This is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church Seahawk Positivity, a reading from the book of the 2017 NFL season, chapter 6, verses 3 to 12. Our travels did then take us eastward to the coast and the land of Empire States and Big Apples. There we were met by giants who wished to destroy us, but although they were giants, they were small of power. They fell down under the true power of Seahawk positivity, and within that power we then drove back those giants back into the land of New Jersey's, for they did then fall silently onto the ground, and those giants were truly soundly defeated. Yes, this is the word, my brethren. Go forth and spread the good word of Seahawk positivity. Praise Largent, praise Cortez, praise Walter Jones, praise Kenny Easley. Go Hawks, and as always, give Pete a chance.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Welcome to the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam show. Hey, you! Yes, you betting on rat races in the alleyway. Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Please join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Do it now before you're mugged again. Hey, guess what? It's time for our Seahawks to hit the road and play the New York Giants, and you know what that means. That means that many Seahawk fans will be traveling as well. So here to give our listeners an inside scoop of all the really great behind-the-scenes sights to see is our 12-Man Fan Jam Show Travel Guide. Yes, the Travel Guide. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show Travel Guide is here to help you find those special out-of-the-way places when you travel with our football team. This week, it's a trip to sunny and beautiful New York City. The city that never sleeps and always tells you that you're number one. So, here are some out-of-the-way places to visit when in New York City. Be sure to visit the New York City Taxi Cab Dialect School. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just rereading my weather report, but carry on.
All right. So when in New York City, listen, when you're in New York City, be sure to visit the Times Square Muggers RS Bandana Shack. There's
Probably a real
somebody.
thing.
Thank you, Dustin,
It's
for being
probably a
alive.
thing.
When you're in New York City, be sure to visit the Museum of Alleyway Smells. Yummy. The many smells of the alleyways in New York City you don't want to miss.
Science project.
Yeah, when you're in New York City, be sure to visit the Tony Soprano Finger Extension Clinic. That's, you know what finger they're talking about. And finally, when in New York City, be sure to visit the Jason Pierre Paul Fireworks Store. You knew it was going to be on the list.
Yep.
Man.
Hey, you buy 5, you get a couple off. All right.
Is it like the blue touch paper and stand 3 fingers away, isn't it? Isn't that how
I did this whole thing just for that fireworks store. That's the only reason I even did it.
Okay.
All right.
the build up?
I know. Now let's see how healthy these teams really are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with the 12-man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news!
Doctor, give me the news.
All right. Well, starting with the Giants here. Big name is out. Beckham's obviously not playing. He has a broken ankle, as does Brandon Marshall. If you haven't been watching football the last couple weeks, now you know.
Hey, I got
ankles.
a question about Beckham real quick.
Okay.
If Beckham's hurt, will anybody be able to bend it during the game? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Bend it like Beckham. Go ahead.
Sterling Shepard, it sounds like he's coming back, though. He's a wide receiver that in that same game where those two got hurt, he hurt his ankle. Looks like he might be coming back. This doesn't hurt my feelings any. Olivier Vernon's not going to be playing. He's got an ankle injury. He's out. Their center is out. Weston Richburg, he's got a concussion. He's not playing. And Paul Perkins, one of the running backs, is also out. He's got a rib injury.
Wow. They're pretty banged up.
Yeah, they really are. And that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool with it. The Seahawks, on the other hand, today Cliff Averill officially went on IR. Good luck to him. He's saying that he still wants to come back and play.
He's probably still concussed or something.
Yeah, he's not contemplating retirement, apparently.
No,
he's still catching. He's still catching turkeys or ducks or whatever it is, isn't he?
Flying birds.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lane, he is doubtful with groin injury. We won't be seeing him. Michael Bennett is listed as questionable. He's going to play. He's got a heel injury.
Is it a blister?
What's that?
Is it a blister?
No, it's plantar fasciitis.
Oh.
Super, super painful. It's basically on your heel. You have what's called a heel spur. And it's like this little growth on the bottom of your heel. It's jagged and it comes out like a pointy hook. And it digs into the soft tissue on the bottom of your foot. And when it gets irritated and inflamed, it is super painful.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. But he'll get a cortisone shot, I'm sure, and go in there.
Is that something that just Americans have then? Because I don't have any pointy out, sticky things out of my ankle.
No, it's on. No, I have one myself, actually. Yeah, and it's painful.
Americans are weird.
We've evolved.
Yeah, devolved.
Yeah, whichever. And then CJ Procise is listed as questionable still for some reason. He's questionable.
He's always injured. He could have any number of injuries.
I know.
Well, it's still his ankle vaginitis that's bugging him. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got a cold sore. He can't play today. He's got a note from his mum. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope
so
they
he's
wrapped
got
him
the
in bubble
sniffles.
wrap when they got on the plane. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that dude. I don't think he's not tough.
Well, but funny.
It's not bad. I think he's just
if something terrible, and I hope nothing does, but if something does terrible happen, I hope for medical science. I hope they're going to denote his body to medical science because that's got to be, you could learn a lot from that body.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, man. It's just some people can play with injuries and some people can, and he's not a guy that can play with injuries.
Well, he just might have bad luck. He might get injured a lot. I mean,
dude. Yeah, the scapula thing. Yeah, that's bad luck. Because nobody breaks their scapula except CJ Procise.
Yeah, it's appropriate that he scored that chandelier endorsement. I thought.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right. But even the coaches are taking shots at him about it. I don't know if you know that or not, but when he got hurt originally and he was missing the game, they asked Bevel about it, and he's like, "Yeah, at least we got him for 3 games this time, so that's good."
Wow.
Yeah, and then Pete Carroll's basically been saying, yeah, he's been worked out, and we thought he was good to play for the last couple games, but game day we work him out, and he says he's not good to go. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're basically saying this dude's a kind of a pussy.
All right.
Is that on his notes? I hope that's on his notes.
That's in his injury report, I think.
Yeah, that's the injury report.
DJ Pussy.
Yep.
Now, what about Jokel's out 4 to 5 weeks, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jokel had his knee scoped. He had to go clean up the scar tissue in his knee from a surgery that he had, and he is going to miss 4 to 5 weeks. So.
Is Blair Walsh healthy?
Yes, so far.
Well, thank you, Dr. Dustin. That was a wonderful injury report, as always. Let's take a look at what the weather's going to be for the game by turning to a guy living in Europe. It's time for the 12-man Fan Jam Show Weather and Fashion Report with our own Matt from Married Old England. Oh, Matt!
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. So, we've had a couple of weeks off, and I can assure you I have used this time as our weatherman very unwisely. So unwisely, in fact, that I didn't bother looking at my own weather here in the UK for a whole week, which was unfortunate because we then got hit by the strongest ex-hurricane in recorded history, and I never even saw it coming. But I digress. So this week, we're in the wonderful East Rutherford, baby, at the Seattle holy site of MetLife Stadium, where Super Bowl dreams were made. So of course, the weather is going to be nothing like that game back in February 2014. It's a warm sunshine with highs of 74 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees centigrade. Now, turning to what to wear for this game, well, Moses, when you think of the world-famous icons of New York City, what is the first thing that springs to your mind?
Lady Gaga.
No, yellow cab drivers. Yellow cab
that
drivers,
too,
of course. Yellow cab drivers. So, if you really want to blend in, you need to dress in a floral or checkered short-sleeve shirt, blue jeans with an optional green card, and a slight smell of stale sweat and tobacco smoke. If you really want to be authentic, make sure you spend at least half the game making car horn sounds from your seat, pretending you're stuck in a traffic jam, randomly shouting, "Hey, I'm driving here," in random, optional Asian accents.
That was a terrible American accent there, by the way.
I can't do American accent. I haven't divulged that sound. So, as for me, if you're asking me, what would I wear if I was going to this game? Well, I've always promised myself that when I go to New York, I will dress up as a carbon copy of Mary Beth Lacey from Cagney and Lacey, complete with a black long pleated skirt, roll neck jumper, and an optional Smith & Wesson Model 10 stub-nose revolver .38 special. And yes, I will have an iPod with the theme music on for appropriate crime-fighting moments.
Oh, of course, you have to have that.
But that being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. Moses, back over to you.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Hey, Matt.
What? Yes!
There you go, buddy.
I'm putting my
That's
skirt
Matt. Walking down the streets of New York. Cagney and
Love it.
Lacey. They're
Love
cops.
Cagney and Lacey.
And we think they were lovers, but we're not going to
I
that
love
right
Cagney
now.
and Lacey.
Oh my God, Cagney and Lacey, man.
Love it.
Casey, Matt just walking down the street.
Matt, do you remember this show at the end of its run? Did it last that long? Because you were a kid.
I was little. I got to stay up late to watch one of them. I remember the one where they were running up and down the stairs, and Cagney pushed these villains down the stairs like a dominoes and knocked everyone over. I remember that scene. I remember lots of them, but I don't remember them in great deal. But I love the show. It was one of my things, and I love the theme tune.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, gentlemen, before we move on and talk about the keys to the game like we normally do at this time, Jose Rodriguez, who is a regular listener to the show, asked me if he could ask you all a question. So I'd like to start the end of third quarter by simply having a new segment called Jose Wants to Know What We're Thinking. All right.
We are digging
Jose,
out the old music tonight.
That's hey, that is some information society for you. If you did not know who that was, Information Society. All right. Okay. Question of the week from Jose is this: seeing as Averill is on the IR and he might retire, if he does, Mark, if he retires one day, does he go in the Ring of Honor? What do you say? Ring of Honor for Cliff Averill.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, he's been a great player, but you know what? I'm going to say no. I think everyone that's in there is, I don't know if everyone that's in there was a lifelong or career-long Seahawk or not, but to me, he's had an impact, but that's just reserved for somebody who's, I don't know, a few notches higher in my mind.
Okay.
So offhand, I would say no.
Okay. He's a no. Matt? Cliff Averill, Ring of Honor?
No. I mean, yeah, again, I agree with Mark. Great player. Is he Ring of Serial? I don't know. I suppose no. it's my immediate thought on it, really.
Yeah. Dustin?
No, I don't think he is either. I think he's a guy that he was here during a good period where everybody loved the players, and so there'll be a sentimental value to it. It's kind of like a Jordan Babineau, where he was there, he played, he made some good plays, we have some good memories of him, but not a guy that you're going to think about as an all-time Seahawk.
Yeah, and I'm going to make it unanimous just from the fact that like you said, great player. I love Cliff Aylward, even a better off-field influence in Seattle than even on-field. But what a wonderful guy, and what a great story. To go from 0-16 to a Super Bowl champion is just a great story. And I don't know if anybody's done that. Now, I know Aikman and those guys were 1-15 Aikman's rookie year, and then, of course, they won multiple Super Bowls. So that's pretty amazing. But to go from 0-16 to a Super Bowl champion, unbelievable. So great story, great guy, love him to death. But if you put him in, that bar gets awful low for other people that should be in before him. And now you're really opening the floodgates for about 35, 40 people to be on that Ring of Honor. And I'm with you guys. I think he's not quite to that point. But, man, I will sure remember him fondly coming around with that arm and stripping that ball. And hopefully we'll get to see that a little bit more in his career. So as he decides, placed on IR, will make a decision on retirement probably coming up. So we wish him well either way. All right, guys. All right, coming up, that's the end of the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
Coming up next, we take all this info, other info that is more helpful than what we had, and make our Seahawks-Giants predictions. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. I want to remind you, for a transcript of our show, please take out a piece of paper and pencil and write down everything we say. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Nobody cares.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Ah, yes, it's time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. In this quarter, we're going to make our game score predictions, our prognostications, and, of course, our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. Quick look at the numbers. Our Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites at MetLife against the Giants. The over-under is 40.5, but please, as a quick disclaimer, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. Please don't take these or anything we say on the show seriously ever in your entire lives. Please. All right. Now our picks. Let's start with Team 12. Jose says, thankfully, our offense is better than the Broncos. So with that, I'll say 24-9. Seahawks. Prognostication, 3 picks for the Seahawks, and game ball to Cam with one of the picks, since I like to throw their tight ends, and Cam will probably be covering them. Tom Lucas said Seahawks 31-14. Seahawks will have over 200 yards rushing. Game ball to Rawls. Little Mo said Seahawks 42-10. Game ball to Baldwin. And he said Russell Wilson will have a touchdown running and a touchdown passing. Mark Ty Turner said the Hawks have been pretty good at the new Meadowlands, a far cry from the old stadium where we won only once. Seahawks 20, Giants 13. Game ball to Bobby Wagner for all the tackles he makes. And he says J.D. McKissick will have a big play, catch, and run for a touchdown. So that's his prognostication. Mike Pascal, score, Seattle over New York, 17-13. Game ball to Doug Baldwin, prognostication, Eli, 2 interceptions or more. And as a bonus, Beckham will be shown on the sidelines sulking at least 3 times. So, now for Team Posse, of course, Will's not here. Will predicts Seahawks 24-14 over the Giants. Prognostication, Wilson throws for over 300 yards and 2 TDs, and the game ball to Russell Wilson. Mark! Statsman Mark.
Yes, sir.
Did you find any more tokens?
Well, yes, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to lay the 55 tokens. That would be 5.5 when you move the decimal over in terms of dollars. Anyway, so I'm going to lay the 5.5 points and take Seattle. Now, beyond that, though, yes, for a score, you know what? We always do well in New York. Since this entire season makes no sense, we're going to light it up on the road. So it'll be 31-20 Seahawks. We will have a defensive touchdown. Pick, fumble recovery.
Right.
And let's see. I am going to give a game ball to Bobby Wagner.
Nice. Dustin.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's the secret to your trivia? 3 in a row. What's up with that?
Oh, so what happens is you ask questions, and then I answer them right, and then I win.
That's awesome.
That is the secret.
Awesome.
You guys should try that. Matt, you should try that.
He's got a little friend called Jeeves that he asks regularly.
Well, here's the thing. He says no Google, but we are allowed to use Bing, which is the official sponsor of Seahawks Training.
No!
Oh,
You
we,
bastard.
well, you
Tell you,
guys
he's
know
like
I'm
the
not
Patriots.
cheating.
We know, Bobby.
You guys know I'm not cheating.
We know you don't take those shortcuts.
Madison Bumgarner is a better batting average than I do.
Oh!
He's a
You are the Browns of trivia. Do you know that?
Oh, yikes. That hurts.
At best. That's at
Oh.
best.
At best.
Hey,
Oh,
Dustin,
wait.
Yeah.
you got a score?
Yeah, I'm going to say... I'm going to say my score is three trivia games in a row where I win. No, seriously though, 31-13
This is
Seahawks.
going to hurt you.
31-13 Seahawks.
Yep, that's my score. And then I want to give the game ball to Cam Chancellor. We haven't seen a lot of him this year. Made a couple plays here and there, but he hasn't been really in the forefront on a lot of these things. So I want him to have a big game and do some cool things and help with that run game, because I know the coverage is going to be taken care of. But the run game last week that the Giants had was kind of impressive, actually. So I want Cam to step up and do some good things and get recognition for it. Hold on. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So game ball prognostication. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. Prognostication, I'm going to say that until this happens, I'm going to keep going with Sherman will get his first interception of the season.
Were you just asking Jeeves again? What that
Yeah, no.
No.
All right, everybody, good night.
No, it's just sometimes I don't even pay attention to me when I talk. So.
I know the feeling there, Dustin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Matt.
Hello.
Matt.
Hello.
Oh gosh, what are we going to do, Matt?
Right, what are we doing? Right, okay, well, I'm going to go for a holy score. I'm going to go for the Seattle Seahawks 43, New York 8. Going for a holy score and a holy land.
That sounds familiar.
Oh my goodness.
I think I've got to give the game ball to Russell Wilson. I think he's going to get his balls in more hands than Harvey Weinstein, to be frankly honest. I think it's going to be boom, 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 boom. Going to be dropping them in from heights. I tell you, it's going to be all over the place. Pew, pew, pew. And I think Russ will throw for over 380 yards.
For over 308?
80.
Oh, ooh, wow. Nice. All right. Well, I guess now it's down to me, and I know no one pays attention to me either, but I'm going to do this anyway.
All right, good luck, folks. Everyone.
Take 5. All
Have
right.
a good night, guys.
Yeah. The Seahawks have had a bit of luck in New York and New Jersey area, and not just because they have been able to avoid Tony Soprano's hit list. No. They haven't lost here since 2008 when Chris Christie had but just a couple chins.
Wow. Nice.
Will this continue? Forget about it. Watch my game ball Earl Thomas continue his march towards Defensive Player of the Year. It could happen. Check this out. You want a prognostication with some cojones? Watch CJ Prosise score a touchdown. Not only is he going to play, he's going to score a touchdown.
It'd take a honest just to say CJ Prosise plays.
playing,
That's my
yeah.
prognostication.
He's going to score a touchdown and end up in hospital for 6 months straight away afterwards.
Yeah.
And watch the Seahawks make the Giants an offer they can't refuse. Losing! Seattle Seahawks 31, New York Giants 13. Yeah, I know, Dustin, that's your score, but I don't care. All right.
No, it's fine, because if we're right, that's like way more points for us.
You're right. You're right. And guess what? Guess what else? It looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close.
Oh, man.
We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little something. What did we learn? Well, we learned that Matt is bitter about the Jaguars.
Just a little bit.
We learned Dustin was left shark. Who knew? Matt is going to issue a travel ban. Adrian Peterson is still running, from what I've heard. Whitney Merciless will always love you. Mark ran out of tokens, and Dustin does not even pay attention to himself half the time. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, Shadowhawk will wherever he is. Dustin as the Beaver, Statsman Mark, Roger Goodell, Mozette, Little Mo, Lawrence Taylor, Mark Bavaro, Tony Soprano, Buddy Hackett, Sheila McRae, Art Carney. Good night, everybody, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
I guess we have nothing clever to say at the end.
There's just nothing you can
Not
say
that
after that
time.
show. It was epic.
Epic.